Founders, you ready? You here? Give me a wave. Let me see you. Okay, good. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now hosting the new venture competition where we will see out of 5 tech companies, not just in fintech, but in technology, different areas of technology that are vying to be the best to come out of this year's edition of the Africa FinTech Summit. I have the pleasure of facilitating this competition, but I don't have the arduous task of judging and seeing which company is the best. To do that, I would like to invite onto the stage my judges for today, being William Bao Bean, General Partner at SOSV. A round of applause for him, please. Samantha Wolfson, Investor at the FinTech Collective. Robel Chiappini, Principal at CRE Venture Capital. And last but not least, Diana Boncheva-Guli, Senior Digital Finance Advisor at USAID. I'm going to give them a few minutes to introduce themselves before we begin, and a few housekeeping rules for the founders that will be coming to pitch this afternoon. You will be coming up onto the stage, my left, your right. You will have a hard 4 minutes to state your case, at which point the screens will black out and we will not see the rest of your presentation. So you will have to use your time wisely in convincing these 4 judges here that you have what it takes to be Africa's next unicorn. I'm Samkem Shongo, your host, and over to my judges as they introduce themselves. Right from, I'm getting a message from the floor that I need my judges to move one down, please. Yes, one down, please. One seat down. I will take this seat. You need to be closest to the camera. I will sit here at the edge. Thank you very much, judges. And we will start our introductions of the judges with Diana. A round of applause.
Hi everyone. Great to be here, and thanks for staying so late to listen to us. My name is Diana Boncheva-Guli, and I'm a Senior Digital Finance Advisor at USAID. I've been with the agency for 2.5 years now, and I've worked for a couple of fintechs previously, and before that I also was an advisor, management consultant to financial services providers, and before joining USAID I was working for Women's Rural Banking, which is an NGO in New York where we were providing advisory services to banks on how to better serve women customers in emerging markets. Great to be here.
A round of applause for Diana.
Hello everyone, Robel from CRE Venture Capital. We invest in tech companies levered to Africa.
A round of applause for a shy Robel.
I'm Samantha. I'm an investor at FinTech Collective. We focus on seed and Series A stage FinTech companies, with one of my regions of focus being the continent. And I previously worked with Nala, who we heard Benji earlier, which started out my focus on the continent.
A round of applause for Samantha.
Hi, William Balbeen, Managing Director at Orbit Startups. We're an early stage institutional VC, invested about 45 companies per year in emerging frontier markets. So started off 26 years ago in tech investment. We are taking what we learned investing in China over the last 20 years and bringing that to entrepreneurs around the emerging frontier markets. So focused on economic independence, health, and climate. So the challenge with China is you have massive, 750 million people out of poverty, but they destroyed the climate, and 1 out of 3 Chinese men will die of a smoking-related disease. So try to balance it out. Thanks.
Thank you very much, William. Right. It's time to hear from our first founder. We've heard throughout the day from VCs, institutional investors, but what if you're sitting in the room and want to make your own personal investment on the continent? Well, Boom claims that his app can help you do just that. From Daba Finance, I'd like to introduce onto the stage, Boom Jr. III. Round of applause. You've got a clicker on the podium. You can use the whole stage if you so wish. The floor is yours.
All right, it does work. Hello, everybody. My name is Boom, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of DABA. DABA, we're building the investment infrastructure for Africa. So investing across Africa is completely broken. There's about 2 trillion worth of investable opportunity that remains completely untapped and inaccessible, primarily because the markets are inefficient. Individual investors, investment firms, and other fintechs lack access, knowledge, and technology to tap into the rapidly growing economic opportunity that Africa presents. So how do we solve that? By building the investing operating system for Africa, a set of tools and solutions that provide individual investors like each and every one of you in this room, as well as investment firms, the ability to invest across public, private, and digital markets across Africa. Today, we have an app that is available on the App Store, DABA Finance, that is essentially Titan for Africa. Manage investment strategies across venture capital and select few public equities in the Francophone West African market, allowing you to invest in those regions. But where are we going with this? Our vision is to offer each and every one of you the entire stack and universe of investable opportunities on the continent, ranging from venture capital, public equities, private credit, fixed income, through an app for individual investors, a web dashboard for institutional investors, and APIs for other fintechs that would love to put money to work towards Africa investable assets. In short, we're building the technology behind all things investing in Africa. Our business model is very simple. We take a commission on every transaction that happens on the platform, as well as a commission on the assets under management. We have a premium subscription tier, very similar to Robinhood Gold on Robinhood, and we offer interest on deposits for all the funds that are on the platform and are not being invested. For our institutions, it's very similar, tiered-based subscription fee, commission on transactions and AUM. The opportunity is quite large. Like I mentioned, $2 trillion worth of investable opportunity, and that is what is being tracked today. Like we know, a lot of the African markets remain in the private sector, and a lot of that is not being captured here. It's estimated to be about 10 trillion once more investments happen. It's growing really fast. The obtainable AUM that we believe we can capture in 5 years is about 250 billion. Today we've started by focusing on individuals, primarily the African diaspora across US and Europe, and we're soon to launch our institutional product for B2B. The market differentiation, well, DABA is quite unique. We're the first full-stack investment platform for Africa, comprehensive in terms of offering an end-to-end investment experience, from investment intelligence, trade execution, portfolio management, across a unique set of assets. We have unique access by working with top-tier institutional firms, banks, brokers, and asset managers across each of the African countries that we plan to invest into. And within our platform, we have algorithmic smart asset management that allows our investors to get top-tier investment recommendations that are tailored to their investment profile and risk profile. We are the first full-stack investment platform for Africa, like I mentioned, and we're truly bending the arc of humanity. Today, investors' relationship to the African market is completely broken. They see it as risky. They see it as not yielding the returns that they're looking to. Well, we are changing that narrative by building the stack of financial solutions that will allow investors globally, both in the US, Europe, but also on the continent, to put money to work towards African investable assets. So please join me in building the future for investing in Africa. Thank you.
Bending the arc of humanity in just under 4 minutes. I was blown away, but that's not the point of today. Did you blow away the judges? Judges, I'll now open to you for a Q&A for you to quiz and discuss and tease out.
Just talk a little bit about how you're regulated and where you're regulated.
Yeah, great question. So we are regulated in the US. So we're a US SEC registered investment advisor, pending broker-dealer, and ATS. So the same licenses that Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Robinhood have, we hold them here. And we work with regulated counterparties in the different African markets that we operate in. So for example, in Cote d'Ivoire, where we're currently, which is our launch pad for public equities, we work with the top-tier financial institutions there. So they are our regulated counterparties. So regulated in the US, working with regulated counterparties on the continent.
And you kind of alluded to this in that answer, but what asset classes are you focused on?
Today, we started with venture capital, and we have public equities in the Francophone West African market, which is called the BRVM. So those are the two asset classes that we offer on the platform today.
And maybe a follow-up, for the private securities, how do you secure quality supply?
Yes, so it's a great question. We get that all the time. Our strategy, our focus is to be the tech that powers investing. For the quality of the investment, we partner with top-tier asset manager in each of the asset classes that we onboard onto our platform. So for venture capital, we would identify top-tier VC firms that have a historical performance, a track record of investing in successful African companies, co-invest with them, or onboard their investment strategy onto our platform.
Could you speak a little bit about the countries that you're operational in and your traction to date?
Yes. So, like I mentioned earlier, our launchpad is the Francophone West African market. So in terms of our public equities, so that's about 8 countries in the West African Economic Monetary Union, about 300 million inhabitants in single currency, which is Francophone franc. That's in terms of public equities. For venture capital, we've done about 5 transactions. So the platform has been operational for the past 6 months, about $100,000 in transaction monthly, and 1,600 users.
Time is up. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for
Thank
Boom
you.
from Daba Finance. Any female founders in the room? Hey, ladies. How frustrating have you found it to be a founder looking to raise investments, looking for loans, and the bank says, where's your collateral? Well, one woman is making sure that we women are included, not only in banking, but also in our ability to raise finances as founders and SMMEs. Ifeoma Udo, founder of Shecluded, believes she can solve the problem of women financing in business. A round of applause for Ifeoma as she makes her way onto the stage. Good luck.
Thank you.
Your clicker is there, and the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ifeoma. I would like to tell you what we do with the story. So on the screen is a lady called Damini. She started a beauty product right out of her kitchen. And after a while, she found out something she couldn't scale. She didn't have access to money. She tried to go to a bank. She tried to ask the local lenders in the market. Their rates were just too high. This is the story of so many African women. In Nigeria, 41% of MSME are owned by women. In Africa, it's 58%. And they are very big stakeholders in both business and in the family. But when you look at the data from financial services, it's very clear they don't understand women. 2 things. Financial services was built at a time when women were not key stakeholders. From the women point of view, they don't trust them to serve them. From the bank says they don't have data, the kind of data that women have. So what do? We build our own table. We create a fintech company that provides financial services for women in business. We started with the hardest part, which is credit, and over time, we're layering other financial services such as insurance, wealth advisory, pension, and our goal is to be a bank that banks women for prosperity across Pan-Africa. Our model is simple: credit, community, wealth advisory. Serve women financial services the way that we know that they understand, communicate with them, and reach them where matters to them. Since we started, even without investment and just the 200,000 from angels, we've been able to grow very fast. We've disbursed over 2 million. We have a community of women above 22K, and this year we got people from South Africa and Uganda. They sent us the message that it's the same thing. The financial services in their country don't like lending to them. Our business model is very simple. We make interest, we make money from loans. We give them money and support to grow, and we make money. And for the other financial services, we charge them a transaction fee. Our product is very unique in the sense that because we're focusing on one demographics, we're able to utilize and generate alternative data to be able to score them and give them access to business loans to be able to grow their business. Our brand, we found that women are the biggest cheerleaders. Without marketing, zero marketing, we've grown and we've become very viral, and they love our brand. And guess what? Communicating with women is very different, and we know that, and we are teaching other financial services. Our team is made up of people that have experience and a passion for women. My experience is in consulting, strategy consulting. We have people that have done technology and banking, and we have people that have run top female communities. So this is a pitch to say that we believe that women is one of the fastest and the largest emerging markets, and African women are very key to the development. So this is an opportunity, and for both profit and for impact. Thank you.
Woohoo! Give it up for Ifoma from She Included. Judges, you can hear from the room. That's
Thank you. Can you talk about your interest rate? 3% for how long, and how are you managing to let the 3%?
It's supposed to be 3% per month. Our rates are very competitive when it comes in comparison with other fintechs and financial services there.
Where is the money that you lend from come from?
So we started out from our balance sheet, but we recently signed up other partners, commercial banks, to be able to fund more women.
Thanks.
Can you expand a bit more on customer acquisition, go-to-market, and how the women affiliation has come through in kind of a differentiation in terms of quantifiable metrics?
So our customer acquisition strategy has just been targeting communities that are women-focused, that initially offer other services to women aside financial services. We noticed that just by being in a community for a woman, she's likely to repay her loan because they have structures to hold them. In terms of, we've also partnered with e-commerce firms, agro firms that have women merchants. And what we do is to extend a line of credit to tell their customers to say that if they have orders they can't fulfill, we now have a lending partner that can work with you. So that's our strategy. Just find ecosystems where women are key players and doing business already and scale up for them.
In terms of regulation, do you mind just speaking about the license that either you're pursuing or the partners that you're working with to power the underlying infrastructure?
So for pension and insurance, we work with one of the biggest partners there. I mean, they have an interest because they want to ramp up their female numbers. For credit, we have a lending license, which we're encouraging to get a finance house license by the end of the year. Then for our expansion into other African countries, we're also looking to partner with people that are doing similar stuff that needs credit scale.
Time is up. A round of applause for She Included. Next up, we've got an innovation that will allow you to streamline your voice prompts. Have you ever found yourself asking Alexa for navigation when you should be asking Google? Or typing in, hey, GPT, please turn on my lights, and it should be Alexa? Well, these guys claim that they can help to resolve that problem for you and make it efficient to use voice prompts. I'm talking about PayTalk, and to present for PayTalk is Neji Tao. A round of applause for Neji.
So I'll start with telling the story. 3 years ago, I saw an ad of a little girl. Yeah, can you hear me now? Okay. I saw an ad of a little girl picking food from the garbage, and the ad said, if you can give $10 every month, you would help children who are in hunger and starvation. So I was moved. I went online to try to donate, and the form was 2 pages just to give $10. At that point, I said, who's gonna fill this? I was running late for work, I left. But on the way, I said, What if there was a way I could talk to this? This is an Alexa, a voice assistant. It's sitting in 100 million homes in North America, and if you add phones, there's 4.5 billion of them. What if there's a way we could talk to them and say, hey, Alexa, send $20 every month to the Red Cross? Or, hey, Alexa, send $100 to my mom. Or get me coffee from Starbucks tomorrow morning. And that's how I went ahead and built PayTalk, because it didn't exist. So the problem we're trying to solve is that it still takes too long to either order food, buy a plane ticket, or do simple things like send money. And that's where PayTalk.
2 seconds, please. My judges cannot see the deck. Tech team, can we just check the comfort monitor? We've paused your timer. We're on the screen again.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So that's where PayTalk comes in. So we use conversational AI to make it easy for people to make payments and purchases using the most natural form of expression, which is voice or a simple conversation. Everybody here has probably heard of ChatGPT. You've seen all the impact that has come out from. This has shown you what conversational AI can do. So this is the product we already built. We're on the store. We have about 5,000 users. There's a product demo right there. But there's a use case for Africa that we are very keen about. No, sorry, I won't play that. Send that later. But that would take a minute from my slide. So we're able to have people send money and transact in local languages. We're the first machine learning model that we've implemented this. So I can speak Zulu, Swahili, I can speak Xhosa, whatever language I have, and transact. So what that means is that financial inclusivity has gotten a big boost right now with PayTalk. We have our market size. We have a $100 billion market that we think we're targeting, but this is just conservative because when you add what the impact that is estimated from GPT and all the other AI models, this is actually going way higher. But we think we can do 600 million in the next 1 year. So our business model is in 3 parts. One of them is transaction fees, where we earn commissions. The other is in subscriptions. We have enabled GPT subscriptions that give you the same capabilities as ChatGPT and a lot more at half the price. So we're seeing a lot of people come into our platform from there. And of course, we have affiliates where we have advertising and networks. So attraction, we've done 100K in transactions. We just launched in March. We did this in beta. We have Amazon. Amazon has invested in this company. They want us to power their Alexa to do these capabilities. We've got about 1 million restaurants and grocery stores that have integrated into our system. So we are like ChatGPT, but with restaurants on top of that. And we have 5,000 users who just onboarded in the last month. So marketing strategy, social media, rewards, partnerships. We're projected to do 370 million at the end of the year, at the end of next year. And this is the team behind PayTalk. Myself, I'm a software engineer, 2 decades of experience. I've got the...
Your time is up. Judges, over to you.
What does your software do exactly?
Basically, it makes payments and purchases as simple as a conversation.
But how?
Just by taking the information you provide through either a voice assistant or through your smartphone and getting you results. Right?
No, I understand the front side, but like, what do you do in transactions? Like,
oh yeah, you can order food. You can order food and groceries.
No, like, what's your software do? How do you do what you're describing?
Oh, okay. Just by talking to this thing. I can speak to my phone and just say, hey Siri or hey Alexa, grab a coffee from Starbucks at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Or, hey, send money to Frankie.
Maybe asked differently, do you consider yourself an aggregator of various consumer technologies to deliver this product? Or is there some core IP that you've built that you're layering on top of these core technologies? And
yes.
What is that core IP?
Yes, we've implemented a bunch of machine learning algorithms on top of existing platforms that enable our customers to quickly perform transactions that will be 10 minutes in 30 seconds, for example. So that's sort of what we do. Transactions made simple, more or less.
And maybe a follow-up, is that on the user interface side, or is that through some sort of deeper integrations into the underlying infrastructure?
Yes, deep integrations on both sides, actually. Yeah. Yeah, it's very technical, but don't have enough time to explain. Yeah.
What is the defensibility of this? Can't somebody like an Amazon or Alexa just enable this function?
No, they cannot.
Okay, why?
So, yeah, the reason is that it's taken us, first of all, 3 years to build. Amazon had tried it before, it was too hard, and they dumped it. So they actually asked us to do it. We did it in 8 months. And the reason why they can't replicate it is, one, the level of integrations, the amount of work it takes, and it's not their core business. Our core business is to aggregate. Their core business is to sell.
Time is unfortunately up. Thank you very much for your presentation. That is Pay Talk. Next up, a company out of Ethiopia that looks to help and leverage the African diaspora investment, not only internationally, but also open up crowdfunding opportunities for local investors. I'm talking about Ignite Investment, coming up onto the stage to be represented by Meseret Warner, who is presenting her offering on crowdfunding investments on the continent.
If I can manage. There you go. I'm going to start with the story, and ours is really much easier because everybody was talking about it the whole day. African startups actually attracted a record $5 billion venture capital in 2021, about 6.4 in 2022, but that's just less than 2% of the global venture investment market. Collateralized debt financing, less capital markets in the continent, and the supply of unsuitable type of private equity investment exasperate the African entrepreneurs' critical lack of access to financing. So Ignite bridged this huge financing gap by coming up with a type of capital that's suitable for the market with our innovative solution of the investment landscape that's really essential for the market. That addresses the Ethiopian access to capital hurdles that we all are experiencing all the time, including this one, and the small investment type that more than 80% of Ethiopian businesses actually look for. If I can get this moving. So, I don't know if it is moving. There you go. So I just mentioned that what we do, and our mission is actually to help grow Ethiopian businesses and create the sustainable jobs, the millions of Africans that join the workforce every year by actually facilitating the financing and building the African diaspora investment power and catalyzing and actually de-risking to bring in other investors that we heard about this morning. Hi, my name is Meseret Warner. I am the founder of Ignite Investment. It is Ethiopia's first and Africa's unique equity crowdfunding platform for unlocking financing, grow businesses, impact millions by leveraging the African diaspora investment power. So I already mentioned our solutions. And what we are focusing on is the greater than $80 billion remittances that comes to the continent every single year. We are targeting a very small percentage of that to actually direct it onto the productive sector of the economy. And we know that it's because our market validation data indicates that actually 40% of the Ethiopian diaspora give from $10 all the way to $300 every single year for charity as well as investment. So far, our traction indicates that we raised about $5 million for a project, private partnership project, actually mobilizing about 500 Ethiopian diaspora. We also secured pre-seed financing. We actually also secured a number of partnerships that work our equity crowdfunding work seamless and secured, as well as actually securing a commitment to invest through our platform, as long as we actually upload companies that can raise and securely. We have an amazing, amazing team that has more than half a century actually to bring this to the next level, combined experience of almost half a century from investment to tech, including myself, JP Morgan and others. And our ask is, before I'm running out, all right?
Your time is up. A round of applause and straight to the judges.
What is your ask?
Exactly, that was my last one. My ask is $500,000. 30% of it is going for our innovative structuring vehicle, as well as innovating and continuing our technology, as well as growing our team.
Can you speak a bit more about the vehicle?
The vehicle that we are using is actually, we do have a partnership that is regulated by SEC and FINRA, so that we can actually compile together for a minimum investment of $500 to all the way to $1 million that we are raising from different people. We compile it together and put it in SPV and then take it to Ethiopia.
How do you exit an SME?
How do?
Well, it's equity investment, right? So
Yes.
how do you?
Yes, it's equity.
How do you exit an SME?
You do exit from SME actually in Ethiopia. When you are investing, you actually get a share out of the company. We do have 3 different structures in Ethiopia that we use, share company or PLC, and based on the negotiation from 5 years to 7 years with the company, that you can take out your investment as a dollar or whatever currency that you're using to invest. Actually, it's legal in Ethiopia.
How do you reach your customer base? How do you reach the diaspora?
The diaspora side of it. Yeah, well, this is one. Another one is actually we have. Okay.
Your time is up. On just the one way you reach your customer. Ladies and gentlemen, Meseret Warner from Ignite Investments. Last but not least today, we have another tech startup coming out of Ethiopia, and this one wants to leverage the power of Africans coming together and aggregating their money and their savings. We are hearing from eCube, and to present is Johanna Emias, co-founder and CTO at eCube. A round of applause for our very last and final innovator and entrepreneur pitching at this year's new venture competition.
Hello. Hi, my name is Johanna. I'm the co-founder and CTO at eCube. So a little backstory. I moved to Ethiopia a few years ago to start a business, and I needed a really small loan. So I asked some of my friends in Ethiopia, how do you apply for a loan? And every single person I spoke to over a course of a few weeks would tell me, there's no way to get a loan in Ethiopia from any bank. So I was surprised, but I was curious, so I began to research, right? Let's see. Okay, so here's what I found. We have 115 million people in Ethiopia, 65% are underbanked, and 69% live in the low-income bracket. We only have one credit bureau, and there's low credit data. There's no credit reporting or credit risk assessment initiatives taking place at this bureau. We have over 19 banks in Ethiopia. 60% of the market share belongs to CBE, and it has 55 million deposit accounts, but only 300,000 credit accounts. And of the 300,000 credit accounts, over 90% belongs to public companies through government guarantees. Our loan to collateral ratio is really high. We have, to borrow $100, you would need $296 worth of collateral to back that loan up. So our interest rates are also 7% to 18%, which is really high. So this must make you wonder, how are Ethiopians getting by without any access to loans? and all of these barriers when they do have the access, right? So I discovered something called ukubs. So ukubs are essentially Rosca groups, where a group of people come together, they pull a certain amount of money, and then winners take rounds to win a pot of money, which is basically getting collateral-free, interest-free, quick loans. So we decided, to scale this traditional financial solution that has existed even before banks did. It's been around for over 100 years. So we decided to modernize it, scale it, and create, democratize this solution. So we have seamless onboarding. Members can create their own ukubs on the platform, and you can also find ukubs on the platform. Say you want a $10 ukub that starts tomorrow that 50 people are in it, you can easily find that. We also have in-app payment systems. You can pay towards your ukub, receive money from the ukub on the application. And then we have a really interesting feature, which is the ukub points. This is my favorite feature. There's all of this financial data that's not being tracked in the traditional ukubs, where you're borrowing money and you're paying it back. So we're tracking this data and utilizing it in the application to give you this credit score. We also have different kinds of summaries. So we launched a beta app a little over a year ago. We went B2B, B2C, B2B2C. And we have, the response from the market has been overwhelming because ukub is a household name also. But we've had over 15,000 users in just 3 months with no marketing spend, all grassroots. A lot of media, a lot of banking, corporate, and NGOs have showed interest, and we've partnered with them. So our business model is we take service charges from the different types of payments happening on the application, from 1% to 3.5%. We have different models for B2B and different models for B2C. So we have an addressable market of 75 million underbanked people and a rapidly growing SAM, but our obtainable market right now sits at 24 million, but it's rapidly growing in the youth especially. So my background is in tech. I've been in the tech industry for about 5 years in corporate America. My co-founder is an economist, and he's also a serial entrepreneur. So we teamed up and we have a lean team, but a really expert team of developers. And we also have an advisory board that's, amazing and help us move forward. So our message is that we can easily scale this solution to Eastern Africa, but also to the diaspora, which is we're actively doing that right now, is trying to scale to the diaspora in the Western markets. And let's leapfrog to financial inclusion is our message, and I'll take your questions. Thank you.
Judges.
Maybe to start off, if the 6 of us wanted to create an ukub, how would it actually work?
So it's easy. You would, pick one person, and you would go on the app and create the ukub. You define the parameters, meaning you'd say, is it a daily ukub, a monthly? There's a duration. There's an amount that you'll agree on. And then once you've created this ukub, it's discoverable to everyone on this panel. So, let's say, you decide to do $100 a month, and then everyone else agrees as well. And there's so many interesting features where you can vote. If you want, no, I want, $150, actually, I can afford that. You can do that as well. So then, yeah.
How do you put those $100 in the app?
You pay into. So what happens is we have a potting account, and we have different models. We have escrow accounts that we use where the money would go to through our partners.
Is it through your bank account? Like, how do I?
Yes, so we partner with those. So we've partnered with banks to create special ukub accounts that's where the money would sit. It's a protected account, and then it also goes out from that account.
And you mentioned that this is already a household name. How do you think about differentiating and building a competitive moat for your business?
Can you clarify the question? I didn't understand it.
Yes, so if this is already a concept that's very widespread, how are you differentiating in terms of compelling users to utilize your platform rather than all of the pre-existing solutions?
Definitely. So the thing is that the traditional system has a lot of pitfalls, right? It's hard to scale. We have a lot of value propositions. For instance, is visibility, the management aspect. And we're actually working with the traditional ukub. We're not trying to cut it out. We're allowing the admins of the traditional ukub to come and create ukubs on our account. We don't create the ukubs. We allow the admins to come. So we're in essence partnering with it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Johanna from eKub. Ladies and gentlemen, are you still here? What happened in the 10 minutes we were gone? I left you amped, revved up. Ladies and gentlemen, are you still here? That is much better. The judges had a tough time deciding on this year's winner of the new venture competition, but they looked at several criteria. They looked at the defensibility of the idea. They looked at the clarity of the purpose and strategy. They looked at, obviously, the scalability of the venture being pitched. And amongst the five emerged one clear winner. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to hear who the winner of the 2023 9th edition Africa FinTech Summit New Venture Competition is? You're not. You are. I'd like to welcome onto the stage, actually judges, I think I'd like to invite you onto the stage to take a picture with our winner. A round of applause for my judges. And the winner of the 2023 Africa FinTech Summit New Venture Competition is Daba! Congratulations! Boom! Please come onto the stage. Where is my photographer? Please, can we get some photos with the judges? Judges, please, the floor is yours. A round of applause. Let's give him a round of applause. And to the rest of our founders who did not make it in this competition, please continue doing what you're doing. Go home, refine that strategy, refine that pitch, look at some of the questions that the judges asked you, better prepare for those answers, and also perhaps look at your model. But we all agreed that there's really, really compelling investments and ventures on the table. A round of applause for Boom. And of course, thank you very much to our judges. And of course, congratulations as well, and good luck to the rest of our companies for having been nominated and selected. All right, ladies and gentlemen, from me, Samkem Shlongot's thank you and goodbye. And I'll hand over to Elowin for the final closing.